Retromania Wrestling on the iiRcade. Is it worth your hard-earned $30 to play on that platform?
Welcome to Retromania Wrestling!
What's up, ladies and gents? It's your boy MikeOfAllTrades. Coming today with a review that I usually don't do. We're going to talk about Retromania Wrestling for the iiRcade. Yo, shout out to the iiRcadians for asking me to do this. And so I'm going to give you my honest thoughts, my opinions, my feedback, what I think needs to improve, and more importantly, is it worth the $30 that you're going to spend? So if you don't know anything about me, and if you can't see, I'm an avid wrestling fan. I've loved wrestling games since Super WrestleMania on the NES. I enjoy wrestling games. One of my favorite wrestling games of all time is actually WWF WrestleFest. WrestleFest transcended more than just wrestling. Hell, it was even on an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers being played. We've been waiting for a long time to have a game like that, and Retromania Wrestling lives in that vein of that old school WrestleFest feeling. You know what I mean? Right now, along with like Saturday Night Slam Masters and Muscle Bomber Duo on the Arcade One on Big Blue, this is pretty much the only way for you to get that fix. It's 6 buttons, so you've got light, medium, heavy, you've got run, you've got grab, and then you have a taunt button because, you know, it's not wrestling unless you're taunting. You know what I mean? The wrestling game is great. You know, it's got a good roster. There's about 16 people on the initial roster. You've got, you know what I'm saying, the Legion of Doom or the Royal Warriors, Hawk and Animal. You've got Tommy Dreamer, the former NWA heavyweight champion Nick Aldis, Jeff Cobb, Johnny Retro, aka Johnny Mundo, aka Johnny Nitro, aka John Morrison, aka Johnny Drip Drip. You've got Boom Boom, Colt Cabana, Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, Woo Woo Woo, Brian Myers, aka Kurt Hawkins, the whole Blue World Order. So you got the Blue Meanie, Hollywood Nova, and Big Stevie Cool. You know what I'm saying? Nikita Koloff, Zack Sabre Jr., Warhorse, and Austin Idol, with Chris Bay, Curtis Hughes, and the Cowboy Jane Storm coming as future DLC. So when you play the game, when you load it up on your iiRcade, there are a lot of game options. You've got story, you've got 10 pounds of gold, you've got retro rumble, you've got versus, and then you've got your gameplay options and things of that nature. I tend to spend a lot of my time in versus mode, as you know, running through the story mode. For me, it's not complete. They haven't put out part 2 of the story yet, so for me, it's not even worth getting into. But Retro Rumble with 8 players on screen with no lag, it's a blast. Literally, it's a blast. 8 players, no slowdown, and the intricacy of the moves that are pulled off. You know, I personally am a Nick Aldis and Jeff Cobb guy, so you see Jeff Cobb doing a lot of stuff like standing moonsaults and, you know, lots of suplexes and things of that nature, you know. The control scheme, it is really easy for new players to pick up. So if you're afraid, because I just listed off 6 buttons, you know, low punch, heavy, grapple, run, taunt, tag. It's nothing that's too intimidating to get into. You know, it's a lot more deeper. It's a lot more deep than what you would think it is. The gameplay meter, you know, it fills up with small, medium, heavy, and it fills up until you get your finish, and you execute your finish, and boom, you know, usually it's lights out of that. Versus mode, like I said, I spent a lot of time there. A lot of time just sharpening my skills and getting better. Unlike other wrestling games where they put an icon above the head where you need to reverse, your person will actually flash a color. Red means that you got it late. Green means that you got it on time. And if you get an orange, it's lucky, and purple is an actual reversal. So those are things that you want to keep in mind. 10 pounds of gold. It's pretty much arcade mode for you to get to end up fighting Nick Aldis, and it's a great mode. You know, I spend a lot of my time on there as well, you know, because you need something to play with. DLC, like I mentioned before, Chris Bay, the Cowboy Jane Storm, and Curtis Hughes. It's coming later. They actually just announced their release on another platform, and they actually mentioned in the update that the DLC will be coming. It's a small team working on the game, so it's going to take them a little bit longer to get it out. The good thing about this is, with it coming out, they can implement the online options so that we can play each other here on the iiRcade. And with iiRcade getting ready to release their beta of online play, hopefully when this game is ready for prime time, ready for online, that we'll be able to do that. And my biggest hope is that there's 4-player online. I don't expect us all to be able to do 8-player retro rumbles. That would be a little insane, and that would be a lot of network delay. However, doing something with 4 players, I think that that's feasible, you know. In versus mode, you know what I mean? Like, sorry, just to piggyback off of versus mode. In versus mode, you've got one-on-ones, triple threats, fatal four-ways, tag team matches, 6-man tags, and even 8-man tag matches. And I have to say man because there are no women on the game as of yet. I don't know if there's plans for there to be women on the game or not, but for right now, it's just the fellas. You know what I mean? This game has a lot of replayability. There's a lot of picking up the game, playing it, studying it, figuring out what kind of play style works for you. You know, if you like fast and loose and you just want to hit and run and whatever else, somebody like John Morrison might be for you. If you want a lot of power game, you know, but you want a little finesse, Jeff Cobb might be for you. And if you want that all around, like grappler, that all around, hey, you know what I'm saying, let's get to it, let's do the technical stuff, then you might enjoy somebody like Nick Aldis, you know. Replayability, especially playing with other people, absolute blast. And that's one of the reasons why I look forward to the online of the iiRcade when it comes on. Now, going forward, there are some things that are missing in this. There's no create a wrestler mode, there's no create an arena mode, and there's no way to download other people's creations if they were even in the game. And that's something I'd like to see in a sequel, but honestly, that's a whole other video. Now, after I've said all this to you, the real question is, do I recommend this game to you? If you're a fan of wrestling, if you want something different, and you want to just have a good time, you know, throwing people, smashing people, stacking them, pinning them, you know, that's kind of my mentality when I play. And if you want to future-proof yourself, I recommend it. I definitely recommend it, especially if you can catch it on sale, you know. But at the $30 price point, support the devs. Pick the game up, you know. It's definitely worth working with and worth getting. With the ever-growing roster, with the multiple ways, you can have hundreds of matchups. Honestly, you can have hundreds of matchups and do the thing. Story mode alone, you know, it's a way to just teach you how to play the game and then to continue going forward versus beat up on your buddies. You know, Retro Rumble, if you want insane 8-player action, which does not slow down on the cab at all. And there's other games that probably would slow down, even on console. So for $30, it's a definite must buy. I don't have a rating scale. I probably should, but I don't have one. Anyway, yo, thank you guys for watching. If you like what I saw, yo, make sure to check out my channel, MikeOfAllTrades. It'll be in the description, hopefully. And yo, thank you to iiRcadians and iiRcade for giving me this opportunity. I'm MikeOfAllTrades, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Later.